right, welcome back. You're back with your man, Chris D'Artagnan. So, what I'm getting ready to talk about here is this 60-10 root pass. There's some really important things you need to know about running your 60-10 root pass. And one of the things that was an issue for me when I first started out was the fact that nobody told me, not even the people that I looked up to actually, help me get through this learning curve. They never told me that you have to have at least an 8th landing. Some people say nickel landing, some people say dime landing. No. 1/8 landing. And let me show you what I'm talking about so you can get a good idea. And this is how I did it. Okay, just grab a little 1/8" piece of tungsten. This is an 1/8" in diameter. And this is what I did. So, took my grinder. Let's see if I can get you a good shot here. I went along the flat of the surface of the bevel, the face of the bevel, and I made sure that it was actually the width of whatever I had that was an 1/8". Can you see what I'm doing? I went along the whole pipe, the face of the pipe, and made sure that it was an 1/8" in width. I hope you can see that pretty good. Okay? That's a good angle right there. Made sure it's an 1/8" in width. There you go, that's a better shot. You don't want your landing to be no less than that. I don't care what nobody say. Some people say butt it up. Some people say whatever they saying out there. Make sure it's at least an 1/8" in width. You're going to be using an 1/8" rod. Now there's some things that you need to know about certain tests you take, right? I had to find out the hard way. So I was given a 6" schedule 180 test. This is some years back. And I wasn't familiar with the fact that whenever you welding that heavy wall pipe and you're going to 60-10 it out, you definitely have to go with a 1/8 gap. I mean, you could chance it and cut your heat up and say, well, if it close up, you're going to blow through. But that's not worth, it's not worth taking a risk, especially if your job is on the line. So if you're doing a test, you get the Monster Coupon, 2" Monster Coupon. Make sure you use that 1/8 gap. If you're doing a 6" Monster Coupon, well, Schedule 80 or better, make sure you use a 1/8 gap and your landing as well, 1/8. And you want to run your heat on 90 amps or better. Me personally, I'm more comfortable with 90 amps. And this is what I'm getting ready to do here. This is, I believe this is a 12". Could be a little bigger, I'm not sure. I should know. No, this is 16". Yeah, that's right. 16". Schedule 80. And we're going to see what it work like. Oh yeah, I was making a mentioning of welding with both hands before we had a little fire drill at this little project I'm working here in the mountains. And what I was trying to get to you, get the information out to you as far as welding with both of your hands, it's not hard at all. Of course, it's like anything. Once you get to going, you realize, okay, I could do it. And that's how it is with welding with both your hands. But the thing about it, for me, when I started welding with both of my hands, of course I'm left-handed, for y'all who don't know, I'm left-handed. But I started working out with the right. And I found it easier to command your opposite hand you don't use to do the right thing. And this is what I mean by that. Like, so I'm left-handed, right? You holding the rod, you got that angle going, and it's pretty much clockwork. So you switch over to the opposite hand you're not used to. You can tell your hand to hold it steady, close arc, keep a close arc, nice travel speed. You got to tell yourself things like that, because you got to remember, it's like this right here. It's just like you training a kid or somebody who never welded before. You're gonna be right there with them. You're gonna have your observe hood, and you're gonna tell them to slow down, keep going, speed up, more penetration, whatever have you. It's the same thing when you're learning how to weld with the opposite hand. You gotta, again, command your hand to do whatever you want it to do, and it will do it. It might be a little sloppy for the first, week or two, but you'll quickly realize that, damn, it's way better than what it was when I first started. So, yeah, I can weld with both my hands. And I'm telling you, you can do it too. Because some of these positions you're gonna go on a job, it's definitely gonna require you to be able to weld with both your hands. And the thing about it is, when you see me weld, a lot of times you see I'm free-handed. Because when I first learned how to start welding, the old man once told me, practice the hard way, especially when you never tried it before or you're trying to get good at it. So, practicing the hard way, it's going to look easy to people who actually hold that shotgun pose. Now, there's nothing wrong with holding that shotgun pose, but at the same time, if you practice doing it the hard way, it's easy for you in terms of the weld position. All right, so let me get started. And those of you out there who actually went and actually got the tutorial that's on the website, www.christaner.com, christaner.com. On the welding tutorial section, I did cover this, so this is like a more in-depth, talk. What exactly did I put my glove? All right, another thing, whenever you're getting ready, prepare to run your hot pass, you want to make sure you feather your tacks as fine as possible. You want to feather your tacks as fine as possible. And the reason why I say that is because this here, let me show you. What's going on, big dog? Okay, so I didn't get a chance to feather yet. I don't necessarily need to because I got the technique down pat. But for those of you out there who actually starting out or even forgot, you know, a lot of this stuff, when you're in the field and you just TIG welding for so many years or TIG welding for about 9 months or so, you forget a little bit. So again, when you're jumping back to your stick welding, your 60-10, you want to feather your tack down as fine as possible. Because here's the deal. Let me get to this side. All right. Okay. So whenever you get ready to start your 60-10 pass again, you get ready to do a quarter. It's kind of awkward holding this camera. Okay. You're going to come up the side, and as you get ready to tie in, ask yourself, what kind of tie-in you're going to get. You're not going to necessarily be at an angle. As you get close to that tack, you're going to angle the rod down, and you're going to kind of eat into the tack, and eventually stand it back up and get your penetration going on so it can be unified inside the root, inside your root pass. That's a little trick, something you can keep in your arsenal. But I'm going to go ahead and see if I can burn something down real quick. And again, you can get this. I got a good little tutorial online, christaner.com, and I'm going. It's a little bit more slower, a little bit more clear. But again, you gotta remember, I'm on a job, so I don't get a lot of time to really make the tutorials and edit the information I do got. So we're gonna play it like this. We're gonna go live, baby. I'm live in the field. This ain't no This ain't no in the booth perfect. It's live. This is live. I like to burn mine down to the nub. So let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about what I've done so far. All right. Whenever your gap is right, whenever your landing is right, it goes in just like you like it, just like the QC like it. Okay? It's nice and flush. It ain't looking funny and bubble gummed up. And here's another tip. Whenever you're getting ready to pull off your root pass, instead of just pulling up, make sure you pull back on it. You get to the end of your rod, instead of pulling up, pull back. And when you pull back, what you do is you create a little keyhole. You see that keyhole right there? So again, whenever you're getting ready to stop or your rod is getting ready to run out, instead of pulling forward, pull back. It's like you're pulling back to whip a little keyhole in it. Let's finish that out. .60-10 is actually, it's not as forgiving as TIG welding your root in, because once you lay the metal there, it's there. But again, whenever everything is good, you got a good fitter, you got your gap right, you got to have that 1/8 inch landing there. That rod will actually drag you up. You can set that rod there, it'll drag you up. You can feel it like a magnet. One of the things about it, have your confidence. Y'all just actually getting ready to actually go into the workforce. Have your confidence. However you train in the booth is how you're going to come out in the field and do it. Same thing like boxing or wrestling or whatever you're into. How you train is how you're going to come out to the field. So if I have anything to say about the way you train, do it the hardest way. Freehand. Learn how to freehand. whenever you're running your root pass with this 60-10, sometimes you get a fitter who can't make a straight cut. I mean, that happens in a real deal, out in the field, real life. If I can show you, this fitter right here, he actually did a pretty good job. But okay, you might have a solid 1/8 gap. It might just be a little bit wider. But this is not like TIG, as you all know. This is not like TIG. You could go with you could tell your fitter you want a 532 gap, and he can give you a 532, and it might be a 3/16 in some parts, or vice versa. When it comes to 60-10 root, let me get a rod so I can better show you. We call it toenailing. So you got your heat at 90, most of your gap is good, and you come to a part in your pipe where the gap is a little bit wide, or maybe you didn't do a good job with your landing. You didn't do an 1/8 landing. It might be a little thin. So you'll find out that it'll toenail on you. We call it toenail. So as you're running your, see if I can get a good image of it. I don't actually got it going on here, but as you can see that little keyhole, this is what you call a keyhole. That little teardrop right there. But sometimes, whenever you got a thin landing and a heavy landing on one side, you'll see a perfect keyhole, and on one side of the pipe, it might have a more of a dugout gap on one side, where the pipe is actually being consumed faster than it is on the good side, the side that actually have a decent 1/8 landing. Okay, so what you do to fix that, all you have to do is press against the side that has the best landing. So again, if you're welding, you're putting your 60-10 in, you're whipping it back and forth, and one side of the pipe is keyholing too big, just press against the side that has the best landing, and that heat will actually go towards that side, and then you'll find out that it's starting out to actually get more uniform with the keyhole. And then you just whip a little bit faster, just to close that wider gap up. Whip back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and at the same time keep a close arc. That's a technique you're gonna have to have in your arsenal. Some people may not tell you. You might go on a job where the QC is a hard ass. You know, he might be a little rough. And he might go in and look at your root and say, well, what happened here? This is flush. Some QCs don't like it like that. So you gotta know these things. You gotta know how to fix things. You gotta know when something goes wrong that you have the confidence to fix it. Okay? So let's go and let's continue on with, finish up this quarter right here. And then let me just demonstrate once again how the right hand goes, because I'm left-handed. tip. When it comes to holding your rod, your stinger in your hand, it's all in the shoulder. Some people like to do the wrist. And remember, keep in mind this here. And this goes for TIG welding as well. I'm going around the pipe. Some people just move their wrists. Get the sticks off the shoulder. You got some individuals who get stiff. One thing you want to tell yourself is to relax. You got it. Relax. The thing about welding pipe, you're constantly moving, you're shifting angles. So you don't want to get stuck with your wrists like this right here. For example, I would show you down, but I can't really position the camera, but raise up a little bit. So my angle is here, and if I'm just moving my wrist, now I'm stuck, I gotta stop and restart. So remember, it's phases. You're gonna start with moving your wrist, move your wrist, move your wrist, move your wrist. Now your wrist is getting ready to get to the point where you can't go up any higher. Start moving your shoulder, move your elbow up. That right there might be simple, but that right there is important. Remember that. Let me say it again. Your wrist only got so much motion. You're working your wrist, working your wrist, working your wrist. Now you run out of space. Start moving your elbow. Move your elbow up. Raise your elbow. Raise your elbow. You see that? I don't mean to sound so redundant, but you'll get in that test booth and you'll say, damn! Now how do I do this? It'll just go out of your mind. Just leave your mind. Just completely leave the building. It happens like that. You know it, but when you get a little pressure on you, you might have a tight spot. Everybody's waiting on you. It's a hot job. And then you get there and you get positioned. And now you're like, oh hell, I think I left my brain in my game box. That happens sometimes. So that's something you need to remember. Alright. Switch over to my right hand and put this root in on this side. You can't really see me. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna position camera around the back. Just so you can see my body position. That ought to be good enough. All right, let's see what we got. The thing about it, again, whenever you're training your opposite hand to weld this pipe, or whatever you structure, whatever you got going on, you know it. You got the confidence, you got the knowledge, so just do it. Yeah, the mind, whenever you want to do something new, the mind always give you a reason why you shouldn't. You gotta ignore that. You gotta ignore that negative thought and just do it. It's not as hard as you might think it is. As you might think it is. You gotta remember, we're going live. Normally I'll edit something like this out. I put it in the wrong position. Yeah, we'll go from this angle here. There you go. I'm back now. I am back. I don't know what happened. But yeah, let's get it. Let's start with the right hand now. The opposite hand. tell you, they didn't cut me no slack. That's all right. That's all good. What I'm trying to do is kind of rotate this long. It's about, I say it's about 15 foot, 6-inch, 16-inch pipe. We usually have rollers on it where you kind of rotate it, but if you get like you're supposed to do, practice and get good in the hard positions, no problem. There's no problem. The way you can tell if that root's going in there really good, see that smoke coming out the top? That means you're cooking it. So let's see what we got going on with my opposite hand. Yeah, it's pretty slick. I like it. But no, like I said, the purpose of me showing you this is, look, you can do it too. Like one of those videos, it's actually a female welder. She was a fitter. Now she's a welder. I can't remember which video it was. There's one of those videos up there. She said at the end, if I could do it, you could do it. And again, she started off as a fitter. Now she's a gem of a welder. I mean, I showed her how to do a lot of the things she do pretty well. But you know, some more welders showed her some things when she was actually working with me. Her name is Jewel. You see Jewel out there in the field? Oh, you'll see her coming. I'm telling you. Yeah. But yeah. I guess that's about it for right now. I'm gonna just finish this out. Schedule 80. It's a lot of welding, a lot of stick welding. So, other than that, I think that's about it. That's all I really wanted to cover. If you want a more in-depth, understanding on how this 6010 work, go to the website, christanner.com, and go to the tutorial section and check it out. It's about 6 tutorials up there covering a few things. A lot of this stuff, I'm gonna tell you right now that it's already on YouTube, but I get a lot of people from different social media outlets who don't necessarily be on YouTube. So some of that information on the tutorial side you might see, and you might notice that, oh, I've seen that video once upon a time, or on one of the from the category of videos that I got up there. You might say you've seen it, so hey, don't worry about getting it. It's for somebody else who don't take advantage of YouTube like me and you and a lot of other people do. So hell, they just have to pay for it. And it's the thing about getting knowledge and wisdom, it's no price on this stuff. And I'm gonna show you live so y'all can actually know. And again, this is not for really people who actually know how this stuff works. It could be, because you could be seeing some things that you actually knew but you forgot. But mainly for the younger people who are interested. You know, everybody can't be a rapper. Everybody's not going to be an actor. Everybody's not going to be a basketball player or football player. But if you decide to practice a little bit, just stay consistent, Ask all the questions you that pop into your mind. Ask all the questions that you have. You can make that six-figure income. It's not rocket science. I'm sitting here in this big dirty shop. You sit here all day. Not really all day, but I mean, I get in the truck and go somewhere, check out the plant or whatever, get something to eat. This particular job, you can actually go off-site and get something to eat, wherever you want to go, Subway, whatever. You can do that on this site. But this is pretty much it. Just chilling out, talking to people, thinking about what you're going to do later on, or even thinking about the future, whatever have you, whatever you feel like doing. The point I'm making is, on this job site, it's easy, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make a decent living. What I mean by showing you, I'm gonna show you my actual paycheck stuff, so you can know I'm not blowing smoke. For those of you who are not believers, that it's easy to make money in terms of putting your mind and your focus to something that or an industry that has a need for your skills. So it's real in the field, and again, you're seeing it live, and I'm going to be doing more live videos just to show you how it really is in the field. This is unscripted, uncut. This is not edited. So I'll be back. Hell yeah, don't forget again, people like us wear things like this. Go to the website, check out the new gear. Golden Arm, the slogan, because you're good at what you do. Support the site, because I'm gonna continue to support y'all and answer all your questions that you may have, and do the best I can to just get you through it. If you need a resume, let me know, because a lot of people have issues with getting their first job. Like you in these trade schools, and you go and apply for a job, they might say, look, we need 3 years of of job experience, work experience, and I can help you with that. I'm gonna also upload a free link on the website, christanner.com, and you're gonna be able to download my actual resume. It's my resume, but you're gonna be able to cut and paste, put your name, and so on and so forth. Just use your imagination. And again, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it, because you ask yourself, well, if I just got out of my trade school, I'm good at what I do, I know I can do it, they won't give me an opportunity. Situations like that, you gotta be creative. Either go to somebody who can help you with a resume, or come to me and get the resume and just copy and paste. It's free. It's gonna be free. It's gonna be free just for you. So with that, I'm gonna see y'all in a little bit. I gotta get back to finishing this pipe.